Hello, good evening. Welcome to Test Prep Hack. Today it is a very important sessions for JEE Physics Chapter 1. We will discuss unit, dimensions, vectors and calculus. This is really very important chapter for your preparation. Sometimes what happened in JEE, you can see that they may ask you direct questions from here. Sometimes the concept of this topic may apply in your next chapter. So this is very important thing that we will discuss now. So let's start with question number 1. This is a very important question. Here you can see the question is a square is equals to a to the power 4. Here s is measured in meter. S is measured in meter. T is measured in second. Then what would be the unit of A? We all know A means acceleration. So S is a displacement or distance. A is acceleration and T is the time. So we can write it a square is equal to a t to the power 4. Now this question can be discussed, or this question can be written based on its unit. So the unit of S is meter. So we can write meter square is equals to a and second to the power 4. Right? We have not applied anything in acceleration portion or A portion. Why? Because we need to find out A. The unit of A. This is why we have not applied anything over here, because we need to find out it. Now, A should be m square by s to the power 4. So it would be m square s to the power minus 4. I hope it is clear. Now, suppose we have a question is like this: 1 by t. T is in the position of denominator. If I transfer it to the numerator, then we just put a -1. It is the power of base t. Suppose we write n, nothing is there. It means power is 1. If it is m to the power -2, means it is 1 by m square. Similarly, if it is L cube, then we can write it is L to the power -3. So this is the concept that we need to apply. This is the first question of this chapter. I hope this portion is clear. When we transfer a specific amount of value from denominator to numerator, we just put a negative power. This is the concept. So according to that concept, here a becomes m square by s to the power 4. So it becomes m square s to the power negative 4, because here s to the power 4 is placed in denominator position. So I transferred it from the numerator, so it becomes s to the power negative 4. Now, the unit of surface tension, is written as the unit of surface tension. So in this particular juncture, you should know something about what is surface tension. This is the most important thing. But here you cannot, if you don't know the definition of surface tension, still you can solve the question. So surface tension is a very important section that we need to follow. So the surface tension means, so write down it, surface tension is equals to force by length. Surface tension. This is the formula of surface tension. Surface tension is equals to force by length. So what is the unit of force? It is Newton. What is the unit of length? It is meter. Or we can write it N by M. M is in the denominator position, so we can write it in M to the power negative 1, or Newton meter to the power negative 1. So the unit surface tension may be expressed as, the question number B is the correct answer. In our previous slide, so what will be the correct answer? That is B. Here it is also B. Now, in this question, if they ask you to find out a dimension of surface tension, then how will you do it? Here just you need to find out the dimensions of the Newton, means the force. The force is ma. Dimension of m, mass, is m. Dimension of acceleration is L, p to the power negative 2. And dimensions of meter or length is nothing, that is L. So we can easily write down it as a surface tension by L. So L cancel, we can write it as m t to the power negative 2. It is also the dimension. But this question is not asked here. In our next question, we can see this kind of question will come repetitively. So, we are moving to the next question. Which of the following is the unit of latent heat? Okay, so first we need to, if this kind of question come in your examination, then what will happen? So you need to know the basic formula of this term. Here the term is latent heat. Always remember, in every question, there is a keyword. The duty of a student is to find out the keyword. Once he or she could find out the keyword, he or she can easily solve the question. Here the keyword is latent heat. So, latent heat is equals to heat energy by mass. What is the unit of energy? The unit of energy is joule. What is the unit of mass? It is kg. We are talking about these things based on SI unit. As we know, we have three systems of unit. First one is called MKS. Second one is called CGS. Third one is called FPS. Some scientists said that MKS and SI unit is quite similar. But in SI unit, we get some of dimensions and unit that we can't get from MKS system. Okay. To the power -1, the system we have learned at the beginning of our journey, that we applied it. Kg is in denominator. I transferred it to the numerator and it becomes kg to the power -. So, the first one is joule, it can't be. Second one is joule mole to the power -1, it can't be. Third one is joule kg to the power -1, it is the correct answer. Joule kg to the power -1 mole to the power -1, it is not the correct answer. So the correct answer becomes C. I hope it is clear. The dimension of angular frequency are the same as that of the. So if it is an angular frequency or something, it is an F or it is L, there's nothing, just we can apply it as a 1 by t, right? So, dimensions of angular frequency is 1 by t, means it is t to the power negative 1. So now we just need to check what is the frequency, what is the dimensions of it. So the frequency is t to the power negative 1. Directly we get it. Same. Now the time period, take it out t. It is not matching. In case of angle, it is dimensionless. Now it is angle, no dimension, like this one, and it is t to the power negative 1. It means it becomes a t. But here we have t to the power negative 1. So which one is matching? The matching figure is frequency. I hope it is clear to all the people. So the dimension of angular frequency are same as that of the frequency. Which of the following is the dimensional formula for the gravitational constant? See, my dear friend, we have two things. One is g, small g, another one is capital G. What is the basic difference between a small g and the capital G lies on the definitions and the purpose of their use. Small g is acceleration due to gravitation. Small g represents acceleration due to gravitation. Capital G represent gravitational constant. It is acceleration due to gravitation. Here, now, we know F is equals to G m1 m2 by r square, right? This is the formula. It is the formula of the gravitation, and this formula was proposed by Sir Isaac Newton. So now we need to find out the dimensions of G. Is it clear? So, in this case, that we need to talk about some of the situations over here that we need to talk about. So the things that we need to find out, we need to keep it along. And the rest of the thing we need to write together. So what is the formula of F? F is nothing. It is m into A according to Newton's second law. M2. it is m, it is L, t to the power negative 2, and this is L square, right? Here it is L square, right? Now, we need to cancel out this one and this one. One cancellation done. So it becomes it is n. Same formula, same concept that I have given, which the beginning of the journey, denominator goes to numerator. So it becomes m to the power negative 1, right? L to the power cube and t to the power negative 2. So it becomes the dimensional formula for the gravitational constant. So the answer should be which one? M to the power negative 1, L to the power cube and t to the power negative 2. So this is the answer. Number B, m square, L square, t to the power negative 2. It cannot be. It is not dimensionless and it is nothing. So if anything that does not have any dimension, we can say this particular unit as a dimensionless, like string. String means changes in length by primary length. So in that case, what happened? The dimensions of changes length is L, dimensions of the primary length is L. So these can be cancelled, so it becomes G. It means it is dimensionless. So we have three basic things. The three basic things is M means mass, length and time. Mass, length and time. Mass represent with M, length represent with L and time represent with T. It is clear? So if anything it is a dimensionless, so we can write it at m to the power 0, L to the power 0 and T to the power 0. I hope it is very clear. We are going and moving to our next question. So it is a very, very important question that I like to tell you. But we are doing in such a level of a question and suddenly it jumps into a very high level of degree. So for Van der Waals equation you will learn in gaseous property of matter, and it is basically in chemistry. So which of the following does not possess the same dimensional formula as that of RT? Right? So in that case, let me check once. So first of all that we need to find out, here A and here is a B. So we need to find out it with the respective of A and B. How can I write it? P is equal to RT. PV is equal to RT. We can write Van der Waals equation like this: P plus A by V square and V minus B is equal to RT. Just check it. Where P is pressure, V is volume, and T is time. Right? Now, the pressure means the force applied on a specific area. What is the dimension of force? Force means M into A by A. Capital A means area, small a means acceleration. So it becomes M L T to the power negative 2, and A means area means L square. So the formula should be like this: M, here L is 2, here L is 1. In division, the base is same, the power should be minus. So 1 minus 2 means minus 1, and T to the power minus 2. And now we have another thing that is called V. V means L cube. But remember one thing, in case of the dimensional cases, we cannot do addition or subtraction. So, or from another way we can say, addition and subtraction is not possible in dimensional analysis. So, here what would be, that is P, then should be written as A by V square. A is a constant, you can say. So here that we need to find out the value of A. That should be A is equals to P V square. Right? I hope you have understood these portions. P V square. So what will be the dimensions of this? P means that we get M, L to the power negative 1, T to the power negative 2, and V means L cube means L to the power 6, L cube square means 6, L cube and its 2 means L to the power 6. It like this: suppose A to the power M whole to the power N. It means A to the power M into N. This formula I applied over here. So it should be M L to the power 5 and T to the power negative 2. And V should be L cube. That we know. So the dimensions of A becomes this, and V is the L cube. It is the dimension with V. What we have, that is a V. So the dimensions of B is L cube. Now, in these particular sections, we have the total dimensions of these all things. So what will be the correct form of the equations? It is a PV. So now if I apply the whole thing in these sections, what we get? So P means that we don't know. And with the multiplication and division can possible. But the addition or subtraction cannot possible, so we can write down over here. So we just need to find out the formula that is key. That is the V square. V square means L cube. Right? Now A and B. B means L cube. A means this one. So it should be like this one, M, L to the power 5, T to the power negative 2, and the B, that is L cube by V square. V square means L to the power 6. Right? Now what will be the formula this one? M, L to the power 538, T to the power negative 2 by L to the power 6 means M, L square, T to the power negative 2. But nowhere we are getting this one. Come to this formula. Here what is happening? A means M, L to the power 5 and T to the power negative 2 by L to the power 6. So what we become get over here? M, L to the power negative 1 and T to the power negative 2. That we get with this one. We need to find this formula only. So the correct answer is C. Why we applied then A and B, the respective of A and B? Because we in our questions we get A and B. So this is the way to solve the question. Whatever the numerical questions you people get, first read the question, find out the keyword, then jot it down what is mentioned in the question. Just pick up those things and decide and analyze that can I proceed by the help of the given item. If not, then we need to derive some of the item by the help of the given item. This is the way. So, solving any numerical problem, the primary concern is to be the master of theoretical sections. I hope it is clear. Now, question number 7. It is a very, very important question. It is in wave equations. Y is equal to A cos omega t minus A. So now, my dear friends, just the thing that we have applied over here, it is really, really important things. And you know that the things that we applied over here, what is it? It is Y is equals to A cos omega t minus kx, where we need to find out the dimensions of k, right? See, this is, what is it? This omega t minus kx, what is it? It is an angle. and it has so it is dimensionless. So kx should be dimensionless, but there is another point is here, that is t, x. X is a distance or displacement that covers the particle, wave particle. So this kx is the dimensionless, means we can write it as a 0. Right? No, it cannot be 0. So the kx dimensionless means is the constant, means 1. So k would be 1 by x. So x is a L. So it should be 1 by L. Means k is equals to L to the power negative 1. Right? This is the first method. Second method. Here the omega t is equal to dimension of kx. So here the k means omega t by x. Omega means t to the power negative 1, and it is t, and this is n. So here it becomes t to the power 0 by n, means 1 by L. It means L to the power negative 1. So we are not getting m and t. So we can write it m to the power 0, L to the power negative 1, and t to the power 0. Because in case of the any number, if it is power is 0, so it becomes 1. Why? Let's check it out. If x to the power 4 by x to the power 4, what we say? We cancel it and say the value is 1. But something is going on behind this concept or behind the function. Suppose we are typing on the computer. Now what happened, that we can see if I press A, the A word comes on my screen. If I press B, B word comes on my screen. If I press 149 as a numerical pad, so 149 comes on our screen. Is it clear? Now, so binomial theorems and a Boolean algebra is a very important thing. So according to the Boolean algebra, some machine language is going on just behind the concepts, behind the functions. Right? So same way, here what happened, here the base is same, it is 4 minus 4 means x to the power 0, so it becomes 1. Because in case of the division, the base is same, we just subtract each power. The thing we do, same thing we do. So m to the power 0 means 1, t to the power 0 means also 1. So 1 and 1 multiplication becomes the 1, and 1 into something, that becomes something. So the L to the power negative 1. So what will be the answer? The first one, m to the power naught lt, it is absolutely wrong. M to the power naught, L to the power negative 1, and t to the power naught, it is absolutely correct. M to the power naught, L, t to the power negative 1, it is also not. It is also not. Correct answer is Which of the following pair does not possess the same dimensions? It is a very, very important question. The first three, in that case, what you need to know and how to solve this kind of question. So to solve this kind of question, you need to follow something that is very important. The first thing that you should do is impulse and momentum. Impulse and momentum. We need to know what is impulse. We need to know what is momentum. What the actual definitions of the momentum and the impulse, I am not telling you to go for that. I am asking you to solve or to know the formula of impulse and momentum. First we see momentum. Momentum means mass into velocity, right? So always remember, momentum should be velocity, not speed, because velocity has a dimension first of all, and it has a magnitude also. So velocity is a vector quantity. At the same time that we can say that mass into velocity means what is the dimension of mass? That is m. What is the dimension of velocity? Lt to the power negative 1. Why? Velocity means displacement by time. What is the dimensions of displacement? Is L. What is the dimensions of time? It is t. So the dimension should be L t to the power negative 1. The thing we applied, m L t to the power negative 1. Now we come to the impulse. Impulse of force. Impulse of force is a force that is applied to a body or a certain period of time. So impulse means force into time. We have already seen the dimensions of force, that is m L t to the power negative 2, because force is equal to mass into acceleration, right? And then it's time. So it should be ml t to the power negative 1. So the momentum dimensions is ml t to the power negative 1. The impulse dimensions is ml t to the power negative 1. So which of the following pair does not possess same dimensions? So both possess the same dimension, so it can't be. Now number B, angular frequency and velocity gradient. The first thing we need to know here, the velocity gradient. velocity gradient means change in velocity by distance So change in velocity. What is the velocity? Whatever thing that will be written in velocity, beside velocity or with velocity, whatever thing that is written, it may be change, it may be fractions, it may be instantaneous, whatever it may be written. But the dimension should be the velocity, dimension of velocity. So the dimensions of velocity is L t to the power -1 and the distance is L, L and L cancel. It becomes t to the power -1. An angular frequency is nothing, just a 1 by t. It is t to the power -1. So both become same dimensions. So it also not possible. Now the surface tension and surface energy. It is another important. Surface tension means force by length. That is surface tension. The formula of force is M L t to the power -2 and the length is L. So L and L cancel. T to the M, t to the power -2. Next is surface energy. Work by area. What is work? And area is L square. Why work is this? Work means force into displacement. See, work means force into displacement. Value of the force is M L t to the power -2 and the displacement is L. ml square e to the power negative. This is an important thing that I like to discuss over here. What is stress? What is stress? stress means force by area. Dimensions of the force is ml t to the power negative 2 and the area is L square. So the area of stress becomes ml to the power negative 1 t to the power negative 2. What is the dimensions of strain? Strain is change in length by primary length. So both are length. So the dimension should be L. So L and L cancel. So it becomes a dimensionless unit. This is the dimensions, here is the dimensions. So both are not same. So the answer should be C. When you will practice it more and more, definitely you people can easily understand many things. By the way, I am going to the next question now. Which of the following have the same dimensions as v square by r? So it is v square by r. What is v? Here v is written as the speed of the particle. Describing a circular path of radius r. So what is the dimensions of v square? It is L t to the power negative 1 its square by r means L. So what it will be? It should be L square t to the power negative 2 by L. So it becomes L t to the power negative 2. Right? Now we come to another question over here. So which of the following have the same dimensions as v square by r? So what is the dimensions of v square by r? The dimensions of v square by r is L t to the power negative 2, where v is the speed of the particle describing a circular path of radius r. Now the acceleration. What is the acceleration? It is v by t. What is v? It is s by t into 1 by t. It means s by s square. What is the dimensions of s? It is L. What is the dimensions of t square? It is t to the power square. So the dimension becomes L t to the power negative 2. So at the beginning of the journey, I understood what will be the answer. The answer should be A. Why not the other things? As we know, force is equals to MA. MA means ML t to the power negative 2. So it can't be. What is momentum? That is mv means ml t to the power negative 1. Whereas we have the formula, or we have got the dimensions as L t to the power negative 2. So it also can't be. And what is an impulse? Impulse is same. Force into time. What is force? That is ml t to the power negative 2, and time is t. So nowhere we can get it. So the answer is acceleration, because in acceleration we get the same dimensions. So the angular accelerations formula should be like this. So we get another things over here. I hope it is very clear. Now, in this particular question, it is a very, very important question. So in this important question, I must say something to you. The dimensional formula of ml to the power -1 and t to the power -2. So what would be the dimensional formula of this guy? So first is the modulus elasticity. Modulus elasticity means stress upon strain. So strain is a dimensionless. Strain is a dimensionless. So we have only the stress. Stress means force by area. So force by area we know. The dimension we get m L to the power -1 and t to the power -2. That we got. So the modulus of elasticity we got over here. Hello friends, that we are solving some of the important questions based on the unit chapter. So here the question is question number 11. It is written that given that g is acceleration due to gravity and r is the radius of the earth, then g by r whole to the power 1/2 crosses the dimension of what? So this is an important question. Why I am saying you? See, here the formula is g by r. G means L t to the power -2 and r is L, right? So L and L cancel. T to the power -2 whole to the power half. So the answer should be t to the power -1. So its dimension is t to the power -1. Now we need to check one by one. In case of an orbital speed. In case of orbital speed. What is the formula? So we need to know the formula very well in this kind of question. That is gm by r. So now in this case, what is the formula of g? It is m to the power -1 L cube e to the power -2. And the formula of m, mass is m and r is L. So what will be the answer? So m to the power 0, L to the power 2, e to the power -2. So it should be L t to the power -1. But the form here we get e to the power -1. So this cannot be the answer. Now we are coming to the angular speed. So we know v is equals to r omega. So this omega is represent as angular speed. as angular speed, and this v represent as linear speed. Right? So, in this case, what we can write? We can write what we need to find out, that we need to free, and rest of the thing we need to together. V by R. V means angular speed, linear speed. Its dimension is L, t to the power negative 1, and that is in radius, it is L, so it is this way. So now L and L, that is cancelled. We are getting only one thing, that is t to the power negative 1. But here it is also t to the power negative 1. So it is correct. Right? But we have some confusion there also. We have another thing that is called the time period. The time period. How does it possible? See. Now if I check the escape velocity, it is 2gm by r. So the magnitude of, so the dimensions of g is m to the power negative 1, L to the power cube, t to the power negative 2, and m by L. The same way, it is L square, e to the power negative 2, it means L t power negative 1. So we are not getting. And the formula of the time period is dimension, that is t, not t to the power negative 1. So we are getting only one thing. So it is cancelled, it is also cancelled. So it is an angular speed. Here, so from this formula you can get angular speed. You can also write the root over g by r. I hope this much is very clear to you. Now, see this question. Question is, the mass of a body is 20.000 gram and its volume is 10.00 centimeters cube. Right? If the measured value are expressed up to the correct significant figures, then how can I solve it? Okay. So in that case, we have the value of mass, that is 20.000 gram. We have volume, that is 10.00 centimeter cube. If the measured value are expressed up to the correct significant figures, the maximum error in the value density of what will be the maximum error? So first we need to find out the value of the rho, means density, m by v, right? So m is 20.000 and volume is 10.00, right? So it becomes 2 gram per centimeter cube. Is it clear? So we get the value of rho. Now in that case, we need to the percentage value that we need to find out by rho into 100. So it should be like this, of m by n, v by v. So this value is this. So in this case, how to write? So here that after decimal, how many numbers is there? 0, 3, 0. So the error value can be in the 3, 0, 0, 1 by 20 plus it should be 0.01 because 20 is there and we need to divide it into 10.00. Now if I use the calculator, then definitely we get the, so we need to apply the calculator in this case. So 0.001 divided by 20, the answer should be 0.00005 plus we have another value 0.01 divided by 10, it becomes 0.001. So if I make it in a calculation based, so del rho by rho should be 1.05, we can write it in that way, into 10 to the power minus 3. You can also write it in this formula way. But we need to find out the del rho. So here, del rho should be the value of 1.05 into 10 to the power negative 3 into rho. So 1.05 into 10 to the power negative 3 into 2. Because the value of rho we find out it is 2 gram per centimeter cube. It is 2.1 into 10 to the power negative 3. It becomes 0.002 gram per centimeter cube. That much we can write. So we are not getting this answer. So actually we get the value of 2.1 into 10 to the power negative 3. But the answer pattern is something different way. So we have just two multiplications of this value with that one. So it becomes 0.001. This is not the answer. This is not the answer. This is not the answer. So the answer should be none of the above. I hope it is very clear to you all the people. So in this particular section, That is very, very important. How to solve, how am I solving the problem? This is very important. Now, the accuracy of the cesium clock is a 1 part is 10 to the power 11 second. What can be maximum difference between two such clocks operating for about 3200 years? So, possible fractional error should be 1 by 10 to the power 11. So in 3200 years, what would be the value? It should be 3200,364 into 86400. So if I multiply it, let's see what will happen. 32 into 364 into 864. One zero zero 63872 into 10 to the power 4, or if I make it in that way, 100 into 10 to the power 9. Or it can be 10 to the power 11 if I do. So 1 into 10 to the power 11. So it is a second. Means C200 means 10 to the power 11 seconds. So it should be near about to 1. I hope you got my answer. So the answer should be B. Because 3200 years is near about 10 to the power 11 seconds. So here I am getting the 10 to the power 11 seconds. So it becomes a 1. So it is in this year. So this year means a 1 second. I hope you get my point. So in this particular question, this is a very, very important question. So in this question, you need to find out some of the important topic that is very, very important. Here you get that F is equals to 1 by 2L F by mu to the power half, right? Where L is equals to length, F is force, L is length, F is force. So what is the dimensional formula of mu? And F is the frequency. So I say that to remove, what we need to find out, that we need to remove. So make the square of both sides So it should be f square by 1 by 4l square by f by mu. So if I go to the mu this side, what will be the value? F by, here we can write L square, F square, right? What is the value of F? F is M into A by L square, means L to the power 2. What is F square? 1 by T is the frequency to the power 2 square, that's why. So now we are coming here. So M is M, L, T to the power negative 2, right? Here we get L square and T to the power negative 2. So T to the power negative 2 and T to the power negative 2 cancel. So we get the dimensions of ML to the power negative 1. But we have another T, but here we don't have T. So what will you write? That I taught you, in L to the power negative 1 and T to the power 0. So the answer should be B. B is the correct answer. So in these questions, the most important things is that, so whenever we are making the dimensional analysis, that time that we need to make it, the thing is very clear. See, given that integration of dx by 1 by dx by root over 2ax minus x square is equal to a to the power n sine inverse x minus a by a, where a is a constant, using dimensional analysis, the value of n is, see, the n value is coming to the a, and a becomes, so in this case we have seen that in dimension we don't apply add and subtractions, right? So in this case we get it, but here that n is not here. But here we, a to the power n is with the sine inverse. So it is clear that we cannot make, so a becomes the dimensionless. The dimension of a should be m0, l0, t0. So the value of a to the power n, where n should be 0. Right? The correct answer is B. Next. Okay. Now here, the volume V of the liquid crossing through a tube is related to the area of the cross section A, velocity V, and time t, as V in proportions to a to the power alpha, b to the power beta, and t to the power gamma. Which of the following relation is correct? So we can write V is equals to a to the power alpha, v to the power beta, and t to the power gamma. Now what is the meaning of V over here? V is a volume. So we can write V as a L cube. Now, A is area of the cross section, whatever it may be, but it is an area. Area means L square. So L square to the power alpha. Now we have V. Velocity V. So L T to the power -1 whole to the power beta. Now we have a time. T is the time. It should be T root over gamma. So in these equations we can write m to the power 0, L to the power cube, T to the power 0 is equals to L to the power 2 alpha plus beta, and T to the power minus beta plus gamma. So in these directions or in this analysis we have get up to this much. Now we need to make a comparison between the two sides. In left hand side we got m to the power 0, L cube and T to the power 0. In right hand side we got L is equal to L to the power 2 alpha plus beta and T to the power minus beta plus gamma. So in that case, what we need to do, comparison L with L, it becomes 2 alpha plus beta is equals to 3. We have 3 terms, we have only 2 values, 3 values, but we have 2 equations. And for the T, the beta plus gamma should be 0. Now we can write beta is equals to gamma. But the summation of 2 value is something even number. Sorry, odd number. If the value of these two things becomes an odd number, it can be equal and it cannot be equal. But in case of the cross sections, how can you write an area of the cross section? So we all know the dimensions of the area of the cross section is an important thing, and that we need to know about it. So in this particular situation, if this comes, then what we should do? That is the most important thing. Right? So in that case, for some cases, we can also write in 8ml square. So if I write it in that way, so here that another one thing we can, m to the power alpha. So here alpha got 0. If alpha got 0, then B becomes 3. If B becomes 3, then gamma becomes 3. So alpha and beta and gamma is same. So where is beta and gamma same? Where is the beta and gamma same? But alpha and beta cannot be same. So the correct answer is B. Got my point? This is the particular analysis. I hope you clear it. I can make you clear of this conception. So whenever you get this kind of the equations, you need to write down the dimensions of the both hand sides. Then you need to make the comparison method. Next, the velocity v of the water waves is proportional to lambda, gamma, and g. G means acceleration due to gravitation, due to gravity. So in that case, how to solve the question? See, we know that density means mass by volume. So the dimension should be ml to the power minus 3. Here we can write V is equals to lambda to the power alpha, rho to the power beta, and G to the power gamma. So this lambda is called wavelength. It is a wavelength. So whatever it may be, but it is a length. So its dimensions is L. So here it is a V is a velocity. So the dimensions of V should be L t to the power negative 1. This is the lambda, means the length, L to the power alpha, and the G negative 2 gamma. So now we need to solve it in such a way that to make the comparison. But before the comparison, we need to break the right hand side. Here it is an L alpha minus 3b plus gamma. Then we have m is beta. Then we have t to the power minus 2 alpha. Now, in the left hand side, you can also write it in this way. M to the power 0 L t to the power negative 1. Here, so here beta is equals to 0. Comparison of the m and m. Okay. Then alpha minus 3b plus gamma should be L comparison 1. Then minus 2 gamma is a T comparison is a minus 1. Then gamma should be up. And beta is 0. Then what will be the value? Half. So alpha got half, gamma got half. It means alpha is equals to gamma. But alpha and gamma both are not equal to beta. Where I get it? First equation. Alpha is equals to beta. Alpha and gamma both are not equals to beta. So this is cancelled. Number B. Alpha is equals to gamma not equal to beta. It is right. Here see. Alpha equals to gamma. But both are not equal to beta. This is correct. Number C. Alpha is not equals to beta is not equals to gamma. Is it correct? False. Number D. Alpha is not equals to beta. Alpha is not equals to beta. Correct. But beta is equals to gamma. This is not correct. This is also wrong. So the correct answer is B. Why I am checking all the options at the beginning of your journey? You should do that. Because you are now learning something. And I am here to teach you how to learn. So this is the reason. So that's why that I am checking all the options. Sometimes what happens that to confuse you the people, they give more than one option correct. Sometimes. So this is the reasons that we are checking all the sections properly. Now, given that I is equal to moment of inertia. I is equal to moment of inertia. So moment of inertia means mass into distance square. So it should be the value of ml square. This is the dimension. Pn is a magnetic dipole. In magnetic dipole, it should be L square. Here it can be written as L square I. Let's check it out. How can I solve it? So I'm putting another tab. So magnetic dipole L square A, and magnetic induction is B. The magnetic induction is M T to the power negative 2 I to the power negative 1. So now the first test question is I by M B. What is the dimension of I? It can be written ml square, right? Now from here, it is rho m. You can write it as a I T L, and it is a V M T to the power negative 2 and I to the power negative 1. Fine. So in these cases, you can write it in that way, or how to solve and how to come to the conclusion. So the M and M cancel. I and I both are cancelled. So this particular portion TL, you can also write it as a L square. You can also write it as an L square. So L square and L square both are cancelled, because magnetic dipole moment can be written as L square. Or you can write it as a IPL. I is the inductions. You can write that way. So it's better to write them in the problem that you can write it that way, L square. So what we get, 1 by T to the power negative 2. So it becomes t square. Right? So the answer should be time square. Time square. This is the answer. Now, we are coming with a very wonderful question. Suppose of the kinetic energy of a body oscillating with an amplitude A and at a distance x is given by k is equals to bx by x square plus a square. So you need to find out the dimensions of B are the same of that of. So here the kinetic energy is written as Bx by x square plus a square. What is the dimensions of the kinetic energy? M L square e to the power negative 2. Why? Kinetic energy means half m v square. M is m and the v square is lt to the power negative 1 by whole square. So we can write it m L square t to the power negative 2. This is why. Now, we have Bx something. B is a constant, we don't have any. So here it is n. X square, we have, that is an L square. But I am not using a square over here because we need to find out the dimensions of B. Just now we need to make these questions. It is very easy now. So what it would be? M L square t to the power negative 2 is equals to B by L. Now L can be converted to this portion. So what it could be? See. Now the B should be t to the power negative 2 L. So M L square and t to the power negative 2 is called kinetic energy. Right? And what is kinetic energy? Kinetic energy is work done. Just write down over here. Kinetic energy is equal to work done. So we can write it as a work into distance. This is the correct answer. Not work by time, not work by distance, not work into time. It is work into distance. This is the correct answer. So, in this particular question, how to solve this question, I hope you are understanding. The things that you need to find out, you need to make it free, and rest of the thing you need to keep it at a particular side. Then apply the dimensional formula and you get the correct answer of the question. Okay. Now, we are coming to another question. Question is, the dimensional formula for mechanical equivalent of heat is same as that for. So, what will be the correct answer? This mechanical equivalent of heat what is the dimensional formula? What is the dimensional formula of mechanical equivalent heat? So, each and every point you should learn it in that way. Otherwise, it will be tough for you to solve the question. So, how can you make it in that way? Generally, we can say a dimensional formula of the mechanical equivalent of heat. Mechanical equivalent of heat means amount of work by unit of heat. Clear? So, mechanical equivalent heat is dimensionless. So, its dimension is m to the power 0, L to the power 0, T to the power 0. Why? Because mechanical equivalent heat means what I said to you now. What I said, it is work by heat. It is work by heat. So this formula we get over here. So this is the correct answer. But you need to know the dimensions of those all other things. So what is the dimensions of the work done? What is the dimensions of work done? L to the power 2, T to the power negative 2. This is the same thing, m, L to the power 2 and T to the power negative 2. This is also the dimensions of heat. You may not get these particular concepts in different books because they did not focus on that part, because it's based on the concept. This particular question is taken from a work, power and energy chapter of physics. So, both are cancelled, so it becomes the dimensionless. So here heat has some dimension, work has some dimension, heat into work has some dimensions, but work by heat or heat by work does not have any dimension. So the correct answer is D. So the dimensional formula for the mechanical equivalent of heat is a dimensionless, and work by heat, this is also a dimensionless. So the correct answer should be work by heat. The method of dimensional analysis can be used to derive which of the following relation? See, the thing that is a dimensionless or any angle value or angle's formula cannot be derived by the procedure of the dimensional theory. So the question is the method of dimensional analysis can be used. The method of dimensional analysis can be used to derive which of the following relation. So in that case, that we need to understand the many other things that is most important. Why? Because in this particular section, so we need to know that from the dimension, what we can get, that is another important thing. So this is a very, very important question. Now, there are the different types of things that we can easily solve. We can find out the physical coefficients from one system to another system. We can find. We can check the given alternative formula of everything. But this theory has some limitation. So here they are asking the limitations of the theory. Because work energy and the momentum both are the same. So here it is the thing that we cannot get from the dimensional analysis formula. The thing that we get from here, this formula also cannot be find out because there is an I comes out. This also cannot be find out. Where is the constant? So none of the above. Through dimensional analysis, we cannot find out this all. We can only find out the constant portions. This will be clear when I go to the next point. That is question number 25. Whereas y is equals to a sine bx plus ct plus d. This is the question, right? So based on these questions, how will you solve? So y is a phase distance. So the dimensions of y, it should be L, right? And this is an angle. As a whole, it is a dimensionless. So it can be M0, L0, T0, right? But under B there is a formula, that is x. So L to the power -1 can be done. And there is another formula we have, that is a C. So C should be T to the power -1. And M there is no value. Right? But here it is a 1 and here it is a -1. Then the situations cannot be matched out. But the thing is something different here. What will be the dimensional formula of A, B, C, D? So in case of B, it is L to the power minus 1. C, it is T to the power minus 1. D, all are 0. And A, all are 0. So the answer should be this one, C. Is it clear? So now we are coming to another point, another question. Give that P is the momentum, rho is the momentum, C is the speed of light, then the dimensions of PC are same as that of P is the momentum. Momentum is a mass into velocity. Mass is m, l, t to the power minus 1. C is the speed of velocity, speed of light. Speed means l, t to the power negative 1. So if I multiply these two things, then what will happen? So m, l square, t to the power negative 2. So m l square t to the power negative 2, what will be the work? So power is work by time, right? So what is the dimensions of power? That we need to know about it. So what is the dimensions of the power? Power means a work, and a work means m. Work means force into distance by time. Okay, so what is the force? Distance by time is a velocity, so F into V. So force is the m into A into V. So m means m l t to the power negative 2 and VL t to the power negative 1. So power, the dimensions of power should be m l square t to the power negative 3. That is the answer. First we get so L2, but here the answer is m l square t to the negative 2. We are not getting. So force means F is equals to m a. M means it is an m, and a means l t to the power negative 2. So togetherly we can write m l t to the power negative 2. What is an angular momentum? Angular momentum is the momentum of that. So angular momentum is, and the torque. So there is a different kinds of the question that you can get from this particular. So angular momentum, the formula is linear momentum into distance. So linear momentum into distance, it should be m l t to the power negative 1. This is a C. And the last one is called, that is a torque. And that is called the torque. It is m l square t to the power negative 2, which is the value of the torque. So the correct answer should be D. So in these particular situations, that what we should do, we should know the basic of the all the situations. So the basic things we need to know, the concept of those are the things. The speed of, so that is chapter 26, the answer should be D. Now, suppose the speed of light is c, force is F, and kinetic energy is K, are taken as a fundamental unit. Then the dimension formula for mass will be. So kinetic energy means half m v square. We need to take this portion only. So the dimension would be m, and v square means, v means L, e to the power negative 1 square. It means minus 2. Now we need to find out the formula, c to the power x, f to the power y, and k to the power z. In case of mass, we can write it this way. C means it is a force, means ma, negative 2, and it is the kinetic energy, whole to the power z. So we can write over here m is not here, m is only here, and m is here. So m to the power y plus z, then L is here, here, and here. So L to the power x plus y plus 2z. Then we have t minus x minus 2y minus 2z. Now we compare between these two, m and m compare. So y plus z should be 1. Second, should be 0, comparing L. Comparing t minus x minus 2y minus 2z is 0. So we can make it. So now if I take 2 as common, then we can get y plus z is equals to 0. Value of y plus z is 1. So 2 into 1 means 2. So the value of x would be minus 2. So we get the value of x. Right? Now here we have y plus z. So the value of y should be 1 minus z. Can I put it over here? So x plus 1 minus z plus 2z is equals to 0. Whereas x is 2, so we can write 2. So 2 plus 1 is 3. So z is equals to minus 3. So sorry, it is minus 1. So it is minus 1. So it becomes a 1. Now Z1, then Y should be 0. So we get the value. So the function should be c to the power negative 2, f to the power 0 and k to the power 1. So we can write kc negative 2. Right? So what is the answer? So the answer is A. So this is the way to solve a problem that is going on, or we are getting it. So I believe that you are getting the point. In this type of questions, you need to solve it in this way. And this is the best way to solve. Now, going to the next question. A thin copper wire of length L meter increases length by 2 degree when heated through 10 degrees centigrade. Right? So, in case of percentage increase area when a square copper thread of length L meter is heated, suppose L is a L meter, a thin copper wire of length L meter increases in length by 2% heated to 10 degrees centigrade. Percentage increases the square. So we know that this is L, this is L, this is L, and this is also L. So the area is L square. Now each portion length increases 2%. If L is 100, so it becomes 102. So here the next area should be 102 square. Right? So what will be the answer? You can use calculator and you can solve it. It is 10404 and it was so 404. In case of percentage, that is 4.04 percentage. So near about it is the 4. So the answer would be 4. A. Next. But why it will not be the none of the above? See, if this kind of question again come in the examination hall and the number changes, but the pattern is same but the number changes, in that case what you should do, you see that any option is here which is with decimal system or decimal point. If you see that it is with the decimal point, then only you can tick none of the above. But here it is not in the decimal, so we can omit the decimal portions and we can take the round figure of number, that is 4%. Now, come to the next question. Suppose velocity of light is c, acceleration due to gravity is g, and pressure is p, taken as a fundamental unit. So same thing, that is the mass, proportionate that we can write c to the power x, g to the power y, and pressure p to the power z. So in this particular question, you can get many things. So here you can get m, l to the power 0 and p to the power 0 is equal to c. What can be the answer? L, p to the power negative 1, in pressure, over z. Now compare, same process. So here m to the power z, l to the power, here only x, plus y minus z, and t is minus x minus 2y minus 2z. Right? So now compare. M compare. So z should be 1, x plus y minus z is equal to 0, and minus x minus 2y minus 2z is equal to 0. Right? So if I make all the plus, then x plus 2y should be minus 2z. Right? Z is 1, so its value would be 2. So x plus 2y value is 2. And here x plus y should be 1, and here x plus 2y should be 2. If I deduct it, minus 2. If I deduct it, x and x cancel, minus y is equals to 3, so y should be 3. So z become 1 and y become 3. If y becomes 3, then what will be the value? So we know x plus y is equals to 1, then x should be minus 2. So the relation should be something like this. First is C. Sorry. It should be minus 3. X plus y is equals to 1. Then x minus 3 should be 1. Then the value of x should be 4. So we can write c to the power 4, gy to the power negative 3, and p is to the power 1. So we can write down that 1. So p, c to the power 4 and g to the power negative 3. In the first option, it is not here. Second option, p, c to the power minus cube and g to the power 4. So it cannot be. In the third option, p, c to the power 4, p, c to the power 4 and g to the power negative 3. So it is the right answer, so it should not be. So the right answer is C. I hope you are getting how to solve this kind of question. Now I am coming to the next question. Number 30 question is a very good question. Rickardson equation is given by I is equals to at square E to the power minus B by kt. So I is equals to a t square E to the power minus B by kt. We need to find out the dimensional formula of a square. Always remember, this portion is dimensionless or the zero dimension. Always remember e to the power anything, it is dimensionless. So if it is dimensionless, then how can I solve it? Just we take the above portion. Just write minus b by kt. Dimensionless. So m to the power 0, l to the power 0, t to the power 0, and we have a k to the power 0. So in that case, we can write b m to the power x1, l to the power x2, t to the power x3, and k to the power x4. Right? So in this particular section, if I calculate it, if I cross multiplication it, so here we get another two things, that is k to the power -1 and t to the power -1. Right? Now, so m to the power x1, l to the power x2, t to the power x3 minus 1, and k to the power x4 minus 1. Now if I compare these to these, then what we get? x1 is 0 compared to m, compared to l, x2 should be 0, compared to t, x3 should be 1, and compared to 4, x4 should be 1. Now, this much of things that we get from here, right? So under the B, what we'll write? We will write x0. So here x1 0, nothing written, nothing written. So here we can write a and t. It is a dimension first. Now second portion, this is, we can omit it, it is a dimensionless. So we have only this portion, a t square. Right? So here we can write I is equals to a t square. Right? So we need to find out the dimension of a. I told you the dimension we need to find out, that will be kept we will keep individually, and rest of the portion we will keep togetherly. So here it will be I t to the power negative 2e. It becomes the first question. Now we need to find the dimension of a b square. So in case of the b, dimension is kt. B square means b square. 0 cancel. It should be I k square. So this is the concept. So number A, I t to the power negative 2, it should not be. Kt, it should not be. I k square, it is the answer. It should not be. So I hope you have understood that how to solve this kind of question. Whenever any person or any student that who will see these questions at the first time, they will think it is a very tough question. But it is actually not a tough question. It is very easy question. So anyone can solve this question very easily. Now, we can come the next question. Which of the following is not dimensionless? Not dimensionless. This is the important thing. The answer should be relative velocity. It has a dimension. Relative permittivity doesn't have. Relative density does not have. The density by density. Cancel. Relative refractive index. Cancel. So relative velocity only is here. That has some dimension. Now, the velocity v of water waves may depend on their wavelength, density of water, and acceleration due to gravity. Which of the following is correct? So here, velocity v depends on wavelength to the power x, density to the power y, and acceleration due to gravity, that is z. L t to the power negative 1, that I can write. Wavelength means length, that is L to the power x. Rho, how can I rho? So we know V into rho means mass. So it means rho is equals to mass by velocity, mass by volume. Now the dimension of mass is m, dimension of volume is L cube. The dimensions of density is m L to the power negative 3. What is the dimension formula of Boltzmann's constant? Boltzmann's constant is, this is the answer, m L square t to the power. So this is the formula that you need to know. It is a dimension. Why and not? In our, when I go for the next chapter or question, then we will discuss about it. Which of the following can be expressed in kilogram per square second. It is spring constant. Spring constant, the unit is kilogram per second. In this, but there is a lot of thing may come, but this here it is the spring constant. Next question. In a system of units, the Planck's constant, the gravitational constant, and the speed of light are taken as the fundamental unit. What is the dimensional formula of force in this system of units? So it is a very important question, right? So here it is a Planck constant we are talking about. We are talking about the Planck constant. And under this question, many things may come, right? So we need to discuss about it in a certain manner or the certain way, so we can solve the question properly. Formula of force in the system. Same thing. Force proportionate to Planck constant means h to the power x, just right. Gravitational constant to the power y and speed of light to the power z. Now we need to apply the dimensions of force. ml t to the power -2 is equal to, it is a Planck constant. The dimensions of Planck constant is ml square t to the power -1 to the power x. Now m to the power -1, l to the power cube, and t to the power -2 to the power y. And the third question is light, L t to the power -1 and the z. Because last day we have seen how to find out the gravitational constant dimensions. So here we directly apply the value. So now m should be here x, here -y, complete. Now L, here it is 2x, here it is 3y plus z. T, it is -x, -2y and -z. Now compare with the value. X minus y is equals to 1. 2x plus 3y plus z is equal to L. The value is 1. And here minus x minus 2y minus z, the value is -2. It means if I multiply both sides with a -1, all becomes positive. If I write here these things, so what we get, and I deduct from this equation to this equation, we get x plus y, this z and z cancel, is equal to -1. Now we just do the addition of these two places. It is -1. Cancel these two. It means 2x is equals to 0. Then x becomes 0. If x becomes 0, then y becomes -1. We get x0 and y -1. So here it is 0, here it is -2, here it is z is 2 equals to 2. So the value of z should be 4. Now we can apply the value over here. H to the power x means 0. g to the power y means -1 and z to the power z means 4. This is the answer. So 80 g to the power -1 and z to the power 4. So the first answer is the correct answer. So this is a very important thing. So the rest of the thing will not be. I hope you people are getting that how am I solving this kind of question. So if these questions may come in your examination, then definitely you people will get can make the correct of all the questions. Right? Now the question number 37. Question number 36. Question number 36 says kilogram by meter second is the unit of viscosity. So these things you can or you should remember. The best way to remember these all of the formula is to read the topic carefully and jot it down all the formulas what you are getting in a single copy and to revise it once in a day. Now, the unit of force as well as distance are doubled. How many times will the kinetic energy be? What is the formula of kinetic energy? It is half mv square, right? And the kinetic energy is equals to means the work done. Both are same. Work done means F into S. So we have two things, F and we have S. Suppose it is X and it is an X. So work done should be X square. Now it becomes double means 2x. It becomes 2x. It becomes 4x square. It means it multiples of how many times of the kinetic energy be? It is 4 times. So the answer should be C. Next question. Which of the following is not expressed in a suitable unit? Surface energy is Newton by meter. It is absolutely right. Stress, Joule by meter cube. It is absolutely right. Energy density, Newton by meter square. It is right. But thrust is not Joule by meter square. Clear? So if I ask you to say the unit of thrust, so unit of thrust, if I ask you to say what is the unit of thrust, then what will be the answer? It is just Newton. Right? So your answer should be D. Temperature can be expressed as a derived unit. Temperature can be expressed as a derived unit in terms of temperature is not a derived unit first of all. Length, mass, and time. These three are fundamental units. Why it is fundamental? Because to make the unit of the length, we need not to take help from the unit of mass. To make the unit of mass, we need not to take help from the unit of time. To make the unit of time, we need not to take help from the unit of length and mass. So these are all the fundamental. So temperature is something different. So temperature can be expressed as a derived unit. Question is very important. So what is temperature? What is temperature? That is a very important. Okay. So we can take it as the Celsius or degree or Kelvin. These are the things that we can. Can we make it the degree, Celsius, Fahrenheit, Kelvin. These are the scales. So in that case, we have a mass and length, it can be. We have mass, length and time, that can be. We have length and time, that can be. So the answer is none of the above. Now, which of the following is both unitless and dimensionless? Both. Angle has some unit. Solid angle has some unit but dimensionless. Mechanical equivalent of heat has some unit. But only the refractive index does not have any unit as well as dimensions. So this is a very, very important thing that you need to understand. So refractive index, what is refractive index? So the refractive index is the ratio of the velocity of light in a vacuum to its velocity in a specified medium. So it is a ratio, and we all know a ratio does not carry any unit. The ratio does not carry any dimension. What is refractive index? The refractive index is the ratio of the velocity of light in a vacuum to its velocity in a specified medium. This is the thing, and this is called refractive index. So the refractive index is the unitless and dimensionless. Which of the following is dimensionless? See, my dear friend, momentum has a dimensions. Momentum we know, mass into velocity. So mass has some dimension and velocity has also dimension. So the momentum dimension should be like this. The moment of force is ma. So it should be like this, ml t to the power negative 2. Moment of inertia, it has also some dimensions for its weight itself. So what we don't have, that is none of the above. So all has certain level of dimension. There is a no unit mentioned over here which is dimensionless. Next question. Which of the following will not have the dimensions of potential energy? Not. Remember. What is the dimension of potential energy? This is the question that we need to find out. What is the dimensions of potential energy? So we know that potential energy, what is it? It is mgh. So we can write it m for m, g for l, t to the power negative 2, and h is l. So the dimension should be m l square t to the power negative 2. So here you can find out. So what is the displacement of angular, what is the dimensions of angular displacement? Position vector into applied force. So we can find out the applied force and the position vector, that's the L. So which of the following will not have the dimensions of potential energy? The answer is displacement into moment. How? You can clarify it properly. Now the question number 43. Which of the following do not have the dimension of force? What is the dimension of force? The dimension of force is ma negative 2. Answer will be A. Now, what is the dimensional formula of universal gas content R? So the answer is this A. Always remember this is the this will be the answer. But here I like to tell you that how to do it and how to solve this kind of the question so you can understand it properly. We all know the formula is PV is equals to nRT. We need to find out the dimensions of R, so R can be free, and here we can write PV by NT. Clear? So if I make it in this way, so P is a pressure So P is the pressure means kg per meter per square. V is the volume means meter cube. Do it in this way. Here. N is T means mole into K. Right? So here we get kg meter square by S square by mole into K. So here we can write as a kg should be M, right? Meter square should be L square times S2 negative 2 into mole. So the answer should be like this: M mole to the power negative 1. So this is the answer. So you have understood that how to solve the question. How will I come to the conclusion of any question? So if you get any kind of the numerical problems in physics, the first of all that you need to find out what is given in the question. What is given in the question? The first thing that you need to do. What is given in the question? So you have seen that these things are given. Now the next task is that based on that particular concept, you need to find out whether is it sufficient to solve my question. If you think that it is sufficient, you can easily solve the question. If you think that it is not sufficient to solve the question, we need to derive something else. Then your next task would be, you need to find out, or you need to check and recheck by the help of the given value, can I derive some of the important value that is necessary to solve this numerical problem. Suppose you have got it, then you can solve the question. Otherwise, it will be difficult for you to solve the question. But the main task will start when you are in these situations to find out the derived sections. So to find out the derived sections from the data or the magnitude that is given, you need to study properly the whole of the things, right? So here that I have, how did I solve it? You got it. We have already solved the question number 44. Now, SI unit of universal gas constant. 48 number question, that is Joule Kelvin. This is the answer. 49. Stephen's constant has the unit of, that is watt meter to the power 2, negative 2 degree, and the K to the power negative 4. Now, Joule second is the unit of, Joule second is the unit of angular momentum. The dimensional formula for latent heat. So, in case of the latent heat, what will be the dimensional formula of work? Dimensional work means force into displacement. What is the force? MA. So, M, L, T to the power negative 2 into displacement, that is an L, over, that is a mass, that is an M. M and M cancel. So it becomes L square t to the power negative 2. So m0, m0, L square t to the negative 2. So 51 is the correct answer. Dimensional formula of Rm is. So the dimensional formula of Rm is m0 L t to the power negative 1. Dimensional formula of the universal gas constant. So we know that F is equals to G m1 m2 over R square. So G should be F R square over m1 m2. What is an F? That is an mL t to the power negative 2. R square means L square and m is, that is an m square. So it becomes m to the power negative 1, L to the power cube and t to the power negative 2. So m to the power negative 1, L cube and t to the power negative 2. B is the correct answer. Now 54. EMJG denote energy, mass, angular momentum and gravitational constant respectively. Then the dimensional formula of EJ squared, m to the power 5 and g squared. What is an J? J is an angular momentum. Dimensional formula of angular momentum. It is so E means energy. Energy is in work. Energy means the formula of the work. Work means force m L t to the power negative 2 and an L, so m L square t to the power negative 2. This is the first one. Second one is called an angular momentum. J is an angular momentum. So L square m t to the power negative 1 whole square over m5. So m to the power 5. And what is the gravitational constant value? Dimensional formula of gravitational constant. L square and then L to the power 4 means L to the power 6, t to the power negative 2, and here is a 1 into negative 2, t to the power negative 4. Now m to the power 3, L to the power 6 and t to the power negative 4. Got my point? So m squared and it's also 3. So both will be cancelled. Right? So if all cancelled, then we can't say the length, we can't say mass, and we can say time, which is only the angle. Angle is the correct answer. 55. From the equation tan theta is equal to v square over rg, one can obtain angle of banking theta for a package of the curve. The symbols have their usual meaning. We can say that it is. That is a 53. So both dimensions are numerically correct. It is the correct answer. Next, 58. The dimensional formula for impulse is same as the dimensional formula of. So in that particular case, then we should know what is the dimensional formula of impulse. Right? Dimensional formula of impulse. First of all, that what is the dimensional formula of impulse? The dimensional formula of impulse is n L t to the power negative 1. Now we come to say that is a momentum. Momentum is mv. M means n, v means L, and t to the power negative 1. So the first option is correct. We did not check with other options. Dimensional consistent relations for the volume V of liquid of coefficient of viscosity following per second through a tube of radius r and length is L having a pressure difference P across it and is, that is V is equals to pi P r to the power 4 over 8 and L. Dimensions of the quantities in one of the following pairs are the same. Identifying the pair. So in these particular situations, dimensional formula of torque, first of all, that we need to understand. Right? Dimensional formula of torque is ml square e to the power negative 2, and work means is ml e to the power means the force negative 2, and that is a L square, the L, so we get L square t to the power negative 2, so both is correct. Now change another things. Angular momentum. So these are very important questions. Angular momentum is L square in t to the power negative 1. So it does not match with the work. So it cannot be. Energy, that is in work, and the Young modulus, that is not the correct answer. It is not. D, light year. Light year means length, that is an L, and wavelength, that is the same, that is an alpha L. It is also the same. So 58. Answer should be A and D. Last, given that kinetic K is the kinetic energy, V is the velocity, T is the time. If they are chosen as a fundamental unit, then what is the dimensional formula of surface tension? So, first of all, that in that case, we need to understand the formula of surface tension. Right? What is the dimensional formula of surface tension? M1 e to the power negative 2 is equals to kinetic energy, it is K to the power A, velocity V to the power B, and time to the power C. So kinetic energy is a half mv square, half cancelled, this m and v square, m means an n, and the v square means L t to the power negative 1 whole square. So we can write it down in that way, that n L square t to the power negative 2 to the power a. Second is the velocity, L t to the power negative 1, it is b, and time t to the power negative c. Now in case of an m means that a is equals to 1. Now L means 2a plus b is equal to 0. A means a 1. So b means minus 2. So we get a b to the power negative 2. So we get the answer. The b should be the answer. Let's check it out again. And for the t, that is minus 2a minus b plus c is equal to minus 2. A means there the minus 2, b means plus 2, and plus c means minus 2. C is cancelled, c means minus 2. So what will be the formula? A means 1, V means minus 2, and C means T, C means minus 2. So B is the correct answer. So thank you very much. Wish you a best of luck.